Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Mompoloki Makwana, and here I'm with my co-host,
Nikita Makwana.
Yes, welcome to the Makwanas Podcast. We are very grateful to be here, and thank you so much for always liking and sharing our content. We are super excited as we are starting a new journey in this page, but in our personal platforms, we have been doing incredible work. Maybe some of you follow us. So thank you so much, babe, for joining me and for us to continue to share more content, as we have shown in the page introduction, that we're going to share more content on personal leadership. We're going to share more content on the relationships. We'll share more content on spirituality. So welcome to today's segment.
All right. Yeah. So thank you. Basically, that is that. Thank you so much for joining the Makwanas, for liking and following our page. We have seen how most of you have really supported us. We received a lot of messages from you after we got married, appreciating God for us and for this breakthrough. We really celebrate you, and we celebrate the messages that you have been sending to us. We have been having people calling and checking on us just to know how we are doing and how is the new life, the family.
Yeah.
And God has been sustaining us.
I love how you have introduced that, because most of the questions that we are getting now is like, how is the new life?
Yes.
And after you answer that, it's like, no, it's the honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
It's gonna pass and stuff like that. What's your take on that with regards to people newly married, and people are be like, it's the honeymoon stage, it will pass, then you get to the real stuff. Think of it as some people have been seeing each other, or they have been maybe dating for 5 years.
Yeah.
Some people have been dating for 10 years. And even after they get married, people think like it's the honeymoon stage. Do you think like people pay into attention the understanding of individuals who are in a relationship, or they just assume that, especially that it's marriage, then it's different?
I think that I have actually different answers to the question. But the first emotion when you say, how do you feel about that? I think that is a bit challenging, because it inserts some kind of fear. Like they say that after 5 years, things are gonna be tough, and they call the tough part of it the reality. And at the same time, it can be looked at different, like, okay, I'm happy that there are people around us who have been in this institution, and they have a lot of things to share. And really, I believe we are teachable. We have teachable spirits, so we look forward to learning from other people's experiences, and we believe that God sustains marriage. Marriage is a gift from God. It's something that God has given unto us at a time that He had chosen. And not only that, God helps people to maintain marriage. So I think that's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
From my point of view, I think when people say things become a reality after 5 years, after 10 years, I want to say what Jim Rohn said, in his early days when he was doing public speaking. And he died many years ago, when he started this issue of public speaking. He said his rooms were full with business managers and owners. And he said, you can ask me a question, how will the next 10 years look like? How will the next 15 years look like? He said something very powerful. He said 10 years will look exactly like today it is if you don't change things. He said 50 years from now will look the same way like it is right now if you don't change things around. He said things don't change, He said things change when you change.
Absolutely.
And the intention of every couple, every dating people, to every person who is going into a job. People can say, no, you are still having the newness of the job. You are still a fresh graduate. It will change. I can tell you, I worked for St. Media for 2 years. I left my job still being the top executive and top inspired person who was willing to push sales every month. It's not, we don't arrive at things. We build momentum to things. Therefore, sometimes people, when they say, in 5 years it will change, it instills fear because you think like it's something that's going to change because you don't have power over. It's like you are arriving at a city you've never stayed in. But every day you are staying with someone in the house, and every momentum you are building, that's where you are going to be in the next 5 years. And I believe that the fear of people normally saying, okay, I'm seeing this person, what if we grow apart? Growth is not automatic. Every decision, every day, whether you are staying apart or being separate, it's what sets the tone for that. And I want to say maybe to couples, maybe, even to ourselves, that the next 5 years will be what we create. And when someone tells you like that, you feel the sense of ownership, like, oh my God, like we are doing the first episode here, the next 10 years will be the 100th episode, if we want it to be the 100th or millionth episode. So for me, it's a sense of responsibility, personal, what we do. But today, we are not talking about that. It's something that I was talking to you about, because from work today, you told me some people is like say, it's still the honeymoon stage and stuff like that. But what's the intention to bring that? Now, let's bring it down to this year of 2023.
Yeah.
We have already started the year. And there's so much expectations we have on a personal level, and expectations people have for their jobs and stuff like that. For you, when you think of the year 2023, what comes to your mind?
I think that before maybe I talk about the year 2023, I will touch on what our spiritual father declared.
Yeah.
When we were getting married, he gave a specific message, and then he said, this is a marriage without fear. He preached that Prophet B.A. France.
Yes.
In Kasani. And I feel like he preached, I don't know, it's not even a feeling. He spoke what God had put in his heart then. Concerning our lives.
Yeah.
And then we were having, because when you're preparing for a wedding, you always have rough things. Yeah. By the way, we'll discuss that in the late
other episodes.
In other episodes. And also Apostle David Gray's dad. He taught me a lot on decision making. And I remember when I went to the workforce, I was in the workforce, he asked everybody to pray, like to stretch their hands and pray for me.
Yeah.
And he declared a word that I'll never forget. He said, this will not be a Kasani marriage.
Yeah.
He spoke life. He said, our marriage is a ministry. And there are a lot of other things that he declared, and those are the things that I believe. I think that in life we are going to have advices from different people. And as you know, wisdom is a principal thing. You have to have teachable spirit. However, not everybody should have a say in your life. There are people who God has assigned specifically for your life. For example, you have people that you listen to on YouTube, but you have people that God has given to you, people who take care, like your shepherds, as the Bible said, that I'll give you shepherds after my own heart. Yeah. We have shepherds. I have shepherds who help me in my professional journey, coaches and mentors. I have shepherds who help me in the journey of our marriage. We have that as a couple together. We have prophets, we have coaches, we have parents who guide us. And because we know those are the people that God sent in our lives, we believe the word that they declare, not just the word that we hear on the streets, because we have our manual of life, which is the Bible. What is God saying concerning our lives, concerning our marriage? What is God saying about our marriage in 5 years to come? Not what happened to a lot of people. And we believe that God is the one who sustains us, like I highlighted when I was at the beginning of the conversation. So looking at the year 2023, going back to your question, what does it mean? the year will be exactly how God said it would be if you cooperate with the word that God had given. God gives us different words at different time intervals. What did God say to you about year 2023? What did He say about your children? What did He say about your future? What did He say about your marriage? What did He say about your work? Every faculty of your life. If you believe it, you're going to work on it. And it's going to turn out exactly that way. So basically, that is the word for me about 2023. Exactly how you envision it, how you work on it, and how you believe it. Yeah.
Okay. Normally, like you say, we have individuals who have visions, who have the plan to say, I hope this is what I achieve towards the end of the year. Let's talk about a sense of intentionality to everything. I believe that as much as we wish to see things manifest in our lives, for me, I believe in intentional miracle creating, where you are part and parcel of creating the miracle in which you see in your life, and not only living things to hoping, not living things to just wishful, not living things halfway and believing that maybe somehow, somewhere, things will begin to gather together. By luck, right? Let's talk about that intentionality for you, what it means, to back up your thoughts and ideas and visions with actions in order for that miracle to be birthed.
That's powerful. Maybe I think I should give you an example. There are things that I've been trusting God for in my career as an individual, and things that I wanted to see. And I knew that if I achieve those things, how are they going to affect my family? So I did a lot in terms of, studying and working hard to qualify for a lot of things. And not only did I do things like physical things and getting documented and all that, I believed God. So basically, believing God, or let me say, taking a step to further my studies, taking a step to complete my studies, or do a couple of things is a sign of belief that I believed God. I prayed for something, I believed God for it. Not only did I believe, I did the right things. Because it's a different thing altogether just to say, I trust that things will go well, but I went ahead and did something. Maybe to give you a simple example, trusting God for a car, going to the driving school to get the driver's license. That is a sign of faith. You don't just assume that I'm going to have a car, because if you have a license, you can have a car. I'm not saying that you can't have a car without a license, but you're most likely not to have thoughts gravitating towards driving if you don't have a driver's license. But if you do have a driver's license, the next step is driving a car. And not only just a car, your car. So I think that is basically that, creating miracles. And I feel like miracles are misinterpreted to be supernatural things that just pop out of nowhere. But we need to understand that God wants to cooperate with us, or wants us to cooperate with Him to do certain. There are things that God wants to do in your life, but He's waiting for you to do your part. So when it comes to you and God's relationship, there is a meeting point. Everybody should sign or do their own part of the deal, their own part of the contract. It could be believing Him when He told you that I'll heal you. But after you believe Him, what do? Every single day, you do affirmations, I am healed. That's you cooperating with God. Do your part.
I think one of the things we talked about also right now, we are still waiting for our producer, who is not even in our surrounding, to do the production with the cameras and the lighting for our first podcast. But here we are using the phone, and being intentional to know that, sometimes all it needs is for you to put yourself out there. And that's very powerful. Let's talk about an example you gave of, okay, let me get a driver's license, and I know from there it can push me to have a car. Maybe a friend can say, hey, please drop this thing off. And now you are getting that momentum. Let's talk about envisioning what can turn out in 2023, but let's center it around creating an environment, creating a bubbling environment for the manifestation of the things you are looking for.
Yeah.
Some people can say, I want to warm my body, but they are 20 kilometers away from the fire, from the fireplace. I want to improve my spiritual life, but they will go for 3-6 months without going to attend just even a virtual. So, creating a bubbling environment. What are you laughing at?
Sorry.
Yeah, I want to know what.
I don't know. I can't really pick like one thing that I'm laughing at. It's the way you are saying it, and just understanding that this time around we happen to be here in front of the camera and to think, well, this is real. This is you, and these are the things that you are passionate about. So when I saw you discussing it that way, I was like, all right.
So creating a bubbling environment for the manifestation of the things you want, right? Yeah. Because sometimes we take it very far and say, oh, have plans, have short-term plans. Those things, they can't push you to action.
No.
But understanding that there are certain frequencies and vibrations you must be in for certain people to even think to call you.
Absolutely.
There are certain thoughts you can entertain. Have you ever had someone maybe saying, well, I was thinking about you when you called?
Yeah.
Because your thoughts are vibrating in a place and a frequency that allows someone to think about you, they call you. Right? So, is that life is spiritual and spirituality is energy. There are certain energies we need to put in place. For me, maybe that I can give as an advice is you have to be intentional in creating a vibrating energy on your side that allows people to come.
Yeah.
I believe that there are certain calls and certain individuals who may never call us or may never show up to help us in anything until we start certain stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's for you, it's about inducing. So the question is, how do you intentionally every day induce that kind of vibration?
Small steps, greater distances.
Yeah.
As you always put it, because I feel like when you're talking about miracles as well, you're thinking, well, you have to do something that is mind-blowing. Something that has never been done.
Yeah.
You don't realize that you have to take small steps. One of the small steps that you can take is to drink water. Just drinking water.
I really want to drink water already.
You are? You can have some.
Yes,
just drinking water, it does a lot
to cultivate a healthy lifestyle.
To cultivate healthy lifestyle.
Instead of thinking of like, for me,
I have to
every time when I wake up with that desire to exercise, I will do 200 skips.
Yeah, like trying to be taking it to the extremes. You don't have to take it to the extremes. I feel like small steps, greater distances. If you want to do, maybe you dropped out of school and you want to go back to school.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back to school to start being learned, like to become a learner.
Yeah.
You can switch on your YouTube and see videos on a particular topic of interest.
Yes.
Because every little step or move that you make, it strikes something.
It's a vibration.
Yes, it sparks something. It sparks something inside of you.
Yeah.
Another thing that you can do if you really want to do great things is waking up early. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I've been waking up at 10 and all of a sudden you are now going to wake up at 4. You're going to punch.
Yeah.
So what you can do is to wake up maybe 30 minutes earlier, 1 hour earlier, like taking it gradually. If you feel like your spiritual life, you are punching as a person, what can you do? Think of the scripture that you really like and think of it, meditate on it. Yeah. You wanted to say something?
No. I wanted to come to a point where we're having a discussion with one of our brothers, I think Tabang, and he was talking about how he wants to like get back into the gear for spiritual life and upgrading that. He said you can feel it when you are dead. You can feel it. Yeah. It's the small death that happen automatically. Then you are dead. You are dead,
you
really dead spiritually. So you talked about think about your scripture. And then he shared a scripture he likes, and that's it.
You just meditate
energy.
on it.
Like I was saying, like what is daily vibrations you need to create to vibrate to the level that you say you are at. Is that. As a salesperson, every day I had committed that I would make 20 calls. When I start with 1 call, 3rd call, 4th call, I can even make more than that. So I think when we think of this year, let's not think of just big things. Let's think of small starting. Starting small and believing that things can get better over time. In one of my books, Embrace of Greatness, I talk about starting small and growing big. And I talked about momentum, but it's very, very crucial to build the momentum. It all starts with just starting. I said, when you are in your room and you are planning, thinking, you can only see a tiny portion of what's possible. But when you go out there and do and implement in small ways, you get more than what you even thought you can get. So for me, that is that. I don't know with regards to looking at the conclusion of the tips that we are sharing right now for the new year. What are some of the thoughts that maybe you have?
I think that one of the best gifts a human being can give to themselves is to staying connected, but not just being connected to everything that you see and hear, but staying connected, number one, to the one who made you. That's God. Stay connected to God. I mean, fish, like they always say, like a fish cannot make it when it's outside the pond. But when you are in the water as a fish, it thrives there. That's how people are made. So I know that in most cases people feel like they can do things without God, but that's not true. And it's easy to say, but this person and this person and this person and this person, they're doing it or they're making it, they don't know God. You need to have a conversation with people. A lot of people really wish they knew God, and there are people who really want to get along with God and go out there and say, I want God, but they're a bit afraid. Everything thrives, and it is at its best when it stays connected to its roots. That's number one. Number two, stay connected to the people who encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Not just because we work together in the same place, because we are related. Do they want the best for you? Just
connection by diffusion.
Yes.
No, you have to be intentional.
Intentionally connected. Yes. So stay rooted in things that build you up. Your background is the one that is going to help you. The foundation of you, what you are connected to, is going to maintain whatever that you're going to become in the future.
It becomes a brooding unit for many more things that you want to multiply. But imagine a chicken trying to lay some eggs around an environment where dogs are eating every egg.
Exactly. And I feel like that's the reality. That's actually the reality of most people. Stay connected to things that matter. And it's also very easy to feel discouraged because now we are in March. It feels like it's no longer a new year, right? That's how you may be feeling. But remember, a new year starts at a different time for different people. Maybe the new year for you starts in March. And there are some of you who are born in March. And it's a new year for you. The year is starting. And not only for the date that you're born, there are moments in your life where God does big things. And now I come like a March. That is something that can happen. A year really is 12 months. So it depends on when do you start counting your 12 months? Any time can be your new year. Remember the words in our conclusion of the Dr. John C. Maxwell. He said the new year is not the movement of the clock or time. He said there is the movement in your mind. He said when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. He said the new year for you is the newness in your mind. So it's very, very important to know that Happy New Year to you right now.
maybe you are meeting this moment right now and it's a divine encounter for you to propel you to start doing the things you have always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to experience the newness.
Yeah.
Any moment your mind and your heart is refreshed to the information around you. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us. We are looking forward to meeting with you in the new episode. I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, we actually were doing a camera check to see whether we should use the tablet, my phone, Papi's phone, whose phone really. We're just trying to do that, and we didn't really intend to have a conversation. You watched all the way to now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know you're going to share, so thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking and
subscribe.
Yeah, for subscribing. I'm looking forward to our next episode.
Yeah.
Next episode, and make sure
you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you leave a comment. What did you pick from this? Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye-bye.